Good morning, everyone, and happy 2019. To date this video, we are January 1st, 2019, and I think it's actually really appropriate given the subject matter. We've been talking about the uniqueness and the amazingness of the human body and the way it functions, and that this is really something to be celebrated. In fact, so much so that the next words of the Hebrew meditation through which we're going right now are galui v'yadua lifnei chisech vodecha. Hashem, these things are revealed and known before your throne of glory. The throne of glory is supposed to be one of the most exalted levels, something that the human eye can't comprehend. And the idea is that all souls of humanity are actually nurtured and based under the throne of glory. And as I also mentioned yesterday, that the meditation we're going through is really something that we're supposed to go through every time we go to the bathroom. It's something that really has to do with just the most base physical functioning of the human body. And we're saying that base system, that function of the human body, something that we look at and we consider gross and disgusting, that needs to be relegated to the bathroom, and I never talk about it other than that. It's that has a place before the throne of glory. It's revealed specifically to Hashem, that Hashem set things in motion in such a way that was going to be a natural outcome and a necessary part of the human condition. And I think that's really profound, to say something that we consider base is actually extremely exalted, which is part of the reason that this gets its own meditation, it gets its own bracha. And it's not just a bracha that we say in the morning, it's something that we say every time we have to go to the restroom. And even just talking about it can be uncomfortable, which I think is the best thing, right? It's so normal and natural, and every single person does it. And yet at the same time, I can barely talk about it. Go to the bathroom, we don't just say what we're doing. It has to kind of be shrouded in this language. I also think there's like a cute euphemism there. We say it's before the throne of glory, and people like to talk about the toilet as their throne. Some people. But really, that's the idea. The idea is that this base function is so holy and so amazing and so institutional to what it means to be human, that really this whole blessing, this whole meditation is standing in front of Hashem and saying, Hashem, you created me as a human being. I get to live as a human being with all of the glory that entails. And to even the things that I consider not so holy, there's still holiness there. And part of the holiness is the ability to recognize our place in the world. Also today, that this week's parasha, this week's Torah portion, is Parshat Vayera. It's the second in the book of Shemot, in the book of Exodus. And it's the parsha where the 10 plagues begin. And the first of those 10 plagues is a plague of blood. And the beginning of this plague is that Moshe Rabbeinu, Moses, goes down to the Nile River and greets Pharaoh there at the crack of dawn while Pharaoh is bathing in the Nile. A Midrash explains further that Pharaoh wasn't just bathing in the Nile. Pharaoh had declared himself in front of all of Egypt to be a god. And one of the ways he proved that he was a god was he said he never had to defecate. He never had to go to the bathroom because he was a god. He could eat whatever he wanted, and there was no system that there's no digestive system that needed to process it. And what he would do is he would wake up before everybody else, and he would go down to the Nile River to bathe, and while bathing, he would do his business. And Moshe, the representative of Hashem, went to Paro in the midst of that moment, in the midst of Paro's expression of his utter humanity, and he said, Paro, you're not God. Hashem is God. Let these people go. And really, this is something through which all humans are united, from rich to poor, young and old, everybody has to go through these processes. And it's something that unites us as a people. And it's something that really is recognized by Hashem as something exalted. And so let's all be aware of all the times that we've taken something holy, that we've taken something nourishing, and that sometimes the offshoots aren't that holy or seem to not be holy, right? Sometimes we take a beautiful concept and we digest it and we go through it, and all of a sudden we don't feel the same about it, or we try to say something and it doesn't come out as eloquently as we had hoped. And to recognize that that's part of humanity, and that's part of our life, and that's part of what it means to be a person in this world. That's what it means to be one of Hashem's holy creations in this world. I bless everybody with a happy 2019, with all of the blessings that we had hoped for at Rosh Hashanah to really find their fulfillment in the world. Have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.